Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently read Stephen King's Dark Tower, book number 5, The Wolves of the Calla, or I don't know if it would be pronounced Calla or Calla, because in all of the books they have what's known as the Old Tongue, and a lot of it's in Spanish. And if you're like me and you took Spanish in high school and college, you recognize a lot of the words that are used, like the vaqueros and etc. And it's interesting, they have a festival toward the rice coming in and the double entendre used with that. Of course, Stephen does fourth wall break with Salem's Lot later. I mean, near the end of the book, it's really quite funny in reference to Jake's purchasing of Charlie the Choo Choo. And we realize that the authoress for that book, her name is or was a pseudonym or a nom de plume, and it's 19 syllables. And again, the number 19 keeps appearing, either 19 or 9 or variations of that number. And it's curious to me, I'm wondering if Mr. King was sort of into numerology when he wrote it, because a lot of numbers have a lot of different meanings behind them. I have a book of numbers that talks about this. I don't have it with me. It's a reference book that I decided to keep a hold on because it's fascinating. And even as somebody who isn't really that acquainted with math, but is becoming more so, I'm by no means an arithmetic major. But it's something that is intriguing to me, even though it goes far beyond my ken. Nevertheless, 19 is a running theme within the book in and of itself, and Susanna is pregnant, but it's not with Eddie's child, and it is Mia's child. Of course, we find that out later. Spoiler alert, sorry. But she's carrying this child, and we know the chap, as it's called, if it is indeed a chap, is a demon's child. And it's almost like they treat this in a very flip and lackadaisical way. I thought, you do know that she's carrying a child of a dark entity, do you not? And why are you not even acknowledging? Well, they acknowledge it, but it's just almost like, oh, okay, sure, why not? But it's kind of weird, and they seem troubled by it, but not to the point where they're panicked. And it's very interesting. Of course, this one is one of the special editions, and I love the fact that it's illustrated. Of course, the cover in and of itself, that's Susanna, and later on in the book there's Susanna in her wheelchair again. And I mean, for a brief second she had her legs, and I thought, oh, why did you deny her that, you cruel sadistic bastard? But of course, a lot of writers are this way. I'm not. Only with my villains. I don't do that with my heroes. I'm only very vile and debased when I'm teaching my villains a lesson, and for good reason. But anyways, it's another really good book talking about the people, or the Folken. The Folken is a word that sounds very Germanic, and of course this comes from the Old Tongue, and I'm thinking that Stephen was a student of language as far as the book is concerned. And it's another big book that I got from half price, because after reading the first one and moving onward, I had to figure out, well, where's the story going and how's it going to end? And this one, it revolves on the time jumping, a lot of different places that they go to find different clues in order to get them access to the Dark Tower. Of course, the Dark Tower looms ever closer, as we all know. Just we're coming to that, and we're still in Midworld, but it's very disjointed, and it's taking place in different locales within this backwards universe, and it's very unsettling and unusual and eerie, and it's so compelling. And of course, we realize that this is a Westworld, of course, and it's that's what makes it all the more interesting. And Callahan is a very intriguing character. He comes across as not what he seems. It's always and Stephen is really good about this. Stephen always gets a character that you would think, oh, he is a preacher, he can be trusted, he is a character that we can tell our deepest, darkest secrets to. I wouldn't trust Callahan as far as I could throw him, and I have good reason after reading this book. But it goes on to say that they're still on a journey, and that's what makes it all the more enchanting and entrancing and tantalizing to read, because if you're like me and you love Mr. King's work, and this is underappreciated, I have to say this, and he mentions Harry Potter, he does a lot of outside cultural references, not too much, like he did with when he wrote Doctor Sleep, he mentions Regular Show, which I thought was really cool, because I thought, oh, he likes the same things I do. Senpai! Ah! And of course I had a geeky moment, so I went a little bit nuts over that, but I just thought it was so awesome that he likes a lot of the same things I do. But this was, let me go ahead and look inside. This is actually written for they have an inscription on the inside. It was given to somebody as a gift. So this was written in 2003. So of course there's reference to Harry Potter, and yeah, a lot of cultural references are made here. And of course the music that's referenced is Love and Spoonful, and I forget what the other song was that Mr. King put in there, but it's just like with Haruki, and Haruki does this even more so, and he just really brings in the detail of the music, and it evokes the mood of the setting. And Eddie's the one that's hearing the song, of course, because Eddie's the junkie, and of course we would expect this of him. And it's kind of stereotypical, but it's not without reasoning, because junkies are really not in their right minds, and they are the drug. And I've seen this myself. I've witnessed it, and it's horrifying. But anyway, this book is absolutely sensational. I'm looking forward to Song of Susanna, which is book number 6. It's a little bit smaller. I'm not sure which is the biggest book. I would think that the Wolves of the Calla is. He actually goes into who the wolves really are and why they're so feared, and they're not actually human. They are considered beasts, and he gives them a canine appearance, and they're very frightening. And of course they're vampires in this world too, so it's very dark and creepy, and it's not scary, but well, yeah, there are some things that are a little bit frightening in the book that just give you pause, like with Blaine the Mono. I thought, good Lord, thank God that this sort of thing does not exist in the real world. If it were like a Twin Peaks world, yeah, I would say, what the heck is going on here? Because am I still in the Black Lodge? I don't know, but anyway, I know I keep going back to that, but it's such an excellent series. It's so evocative and provocative and really mind-bending. I like mind-benders. I always have, especially with the Japanese films. Like Paprika is one of my favorite movies of all time, for good reason. Because it talks about the realm of dreams and just how diverse mind is. But this is more of the multiverse, and I've always been a big fan of that, and timelines, and there's a lot of jumping that goes on in the book itself, and you got to stay on your toes to keep in track with it. But it's very well written, and I'm really looking forward to reading Song of Susanna. This is another 2 thumbs up, easily. But it keeps you guessing. Well, some of the things you think, oh yeah, I expected that to happen, or I knew these characters were plotting against our quartet. A lot of things, if you've gotten to this point and you think, well, what now? Sorry, Homestuck reference. I'll never stop. But it's really sensationally done, and I'm really looking forward to the next books in the series. So until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao tutti.